Police just arrived at an airport parking lot to investigate reports of an abandoned truck. Initially, it seemed like just another routine call with nothing unusual, but that's when it hit them.
Trying to smells.
I think it smells like decomp. I can smell something.
Inside the truck lay 4 brutalized and dismembered bodies hidden inside boxes. What officers didn't know at the time is that 11 more bodies lay buried and hidden in remote
I'm here for you.
areas
The
of
true crime is
state.
extra nice.
An active, twisted serial killer was on the loose, and detectives were already months behind.
You remember the last time you saw him?
Maybe a couple of months ago.
We don't care about anything else other than finding, matching, Jennifer, and Justin. Whoever did that is our focus.
Wait, have I watched
Tied
this
everything
one?
together yesterday when he did that. You know what I mean? Like, I know he lost them 3, man.
I might have watched this one, guys.
Taking
It's a
these other
possibility. It's a high
11, did you take them all
possibility.
to the same place?
I think I recognize the last guy. I recognize this guy. I might have watched this one on a different channel before.
Finding, matching, Jennifer, and Justin. Whoever did that is our focus.
I tied everything together yesterday when he did that. You know what I mean? Like, I know he lost them 3, man. I know he did.
Taking these other 11, did you take them all to the same place? If you ever came back out to New Mexico, would you be willing to take us?
It started on a Sunday afternoon when police in Grants, New Mexico received a mysterious call. A landlord had just discovered something he described as disturbing while cleaning out an evicted tenant's home. Officers immediately headed to the address to investigate.
So this guy hasn't paid us since July, but with COVID
I've watched this one, guys.
going on, we
I don't mind
couldn't
rewatching
so
it,
we
though.
had nothing but problems with him. Anyways, we finally got him to
Definitely
move
watch this
out,
one.
So I seen him today. We haven't come by. We haven't.
I think the thing I don't like about true crime is giving the actual crimes airtime. Like, that's just feeding the killer clout for no reason. Yeah, but it's also giving awareness to victims, though. And it also, for me personally, it just sets things in the world into perspective. And being like, there are shitty fucking people out there, and you should be careful. Like, this could happen to anybody. You might not think it could happen to you, but it genuinely fucking could. I think, yeah, don't give the killers any fucking clout. But, like, the victims do deserve it. If people, like, if they would want their story shared, they should have it shared. They should have a voice, you know? The killers are pieces of fucking shit. And I don't do this being like, oh, yes, the killers, oh, God. Like some fucking crazy people there are out there that are like that. I genuinely just fucking hate these people. Like, I think they're pieces of fucking shit. But yes, let's carry on. I mean, in factual media, yeah, but true crime is a story from media, which is the problem. I guess so.
Well, we didn't know which pile, so we started.
I make that shame them more. Precisely.
Well, we were moving some things and
expose what a real piece of fucking
found
shit
this
they are.
Puppy in this box underneath.
Yeah, I've
some
seen
of
this
the
one, guys. I've
stuff,
seen this
you know?
one
Okay. So
like,
we
probably like a year or
put
so
the
ago,
puppy in
maybe.
the bag because we were gonna bury it. And
Maybe
then we
less than
see
that.
They had tied a cord on its neck.
Okay.
Well, we've had, like I said, nothing but problems with these guys. So I at least want to put a report on file. I know we won't be able to say who did it and when, but that needs to be associated with him, you know, because we're going to take him to court for a lot of other things. And if I can just have that on file, it'll help.
Okay.
It was clear the puppy had suffered a horrific death. Animal control arrived shortly afterwards and confirmed it had been deliberately tortured, noting a cord tied tightly around its neck. The cruelty of the scene was deeply unsettling, and the officer immediately recognized they were dealing with someone truly twisted.
Yeah, that was just straight up.
Absolutely.
That's just sad. That right there just really got to me because it's like, that's not cool at all. Right?
No. Absolutely. Cruel, awful people.
Yeah, we tried to get in, the landlord, the owner, he tries to go into the house. They went in, they painted everything their own colors, and they just ruined everything.
Unfortunately for investigators, the puppy was just the first body, and in the coming days, police would uncover more gruesome scenes, strange disappearances, and disturbing evidence pointing to something far more calculated than anyone expected. That same day, Detective Robert Turney was assigned a missing persons case involving 19-year-old Matthew Miller. Matthew's grandmother had called 911 a couple of days earlier, worried because she hadn't seen or heard from him in nearly a week. It turned out police were already familiar with Matthew and knew he had previously struggled with substance abuse, so initially they assumed his disappearance was drug-related. Maybe he overdosed somewhere. But Matthew's family insisted something was different this time and urgently requested to speak with detectives. Trusting their instincts, Detective Turney decided to visit Matthew's grandmother, where he would discover some unsettling new possibilities.
So you guys can help me out by just calling around to hospitals, clinics, rehabilitation places, other county jails, and just see if he's there. So prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Okay, but I will tell you, I had more than enough to arrest Matthew several times, and he's not one of those people that I wanted to arrest. You know, Matthew is not going to pull a gun on anybody, right? To get his drugs.
Yeah, no.
He's not that kind of person.
Yes, that's my main fear.
And he probably has a little bit of a complex because he knows he's that kind of person. And so he's going to be real hesitant to reach out and tell you guys the actual truth about this person took advantage of me.
Yeah, no, he
You know what I'm saying? So just forgive him. All you can do is tell him you love him and you forgive him and go from there.
After rehashing some information with Matthew's family, Detective Turney would go on to learn some critical details. Matthew's girlfriend told the family she saw him getting into a vehicle with several other people, including a blonde woman named Jennifer Lannon, someone Matthew had recently been spending time with. He also learned that Matthew often spent time with a close friend named Justin Mata and his girlfriend, Leonie Calzada. All three were known to use drugs together. Acting quickly on these promising new leads, police began searching locations Matthew was known to frequent, and soon enough, they located Matthew's Chevy Colorado truck parked and seemingly abandoned within a few blocks away from Leonie and Justin's residence. The truck was dirty, locked, and appeared to have been parked there for several days. Inside, detectives found clothing and personal belongings, as well as several unsettling items including a pair of rubber gloves and a shovel lying in the truck's bed. They also found multiple cell phones that were damaged in the front and back seats. It seemed clear Matthew hadn't intended to leave the truck there, and detectives sensed something wasn't right. Immediately, investigators canvassed the area and found surveillance
Something's
cameras
definitely
nearby,
not right there.
one of which captured Matthew's truck arriving at Leonie and Justin's address on January 26th, just 3 days before Matthew was reported missing. With these new alarming discoveries, Detective Turney knew the next logical step was to urgently speak with Matthew's friends, Justin Mata and Leonie Calzada, hoping they could shed some light on the situation. However, when they arrived at the couple's residence, they would quickly realize Matthew wasn't the only one missing.
Dun dun dun. They scaled it rapidly, unlike the other one. Yeah, for real.
Okay, if I come in? Hey, guys. My name's Robert.
I feel like this one, I might end up struggling to actually like talk about this one. Like, the woman in the last one was fucking stupid.
He's gone.
He gone?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Okay.
This is Leonie Calzada, the girlfriend of Matthew's close friend, Justin Mata, and someone detectives suspected might know exactly what happened to Matthew.
This is very, very important. We're looking for Matthew Miller. He's been missing for over 2 weeks. When was the last time he was here?
Maybe a year ago?
A year ago.
When I first got this place, yeah. When I first got it, last January.
He hasn't been here since then.
But I know it very well.
What if I got video of his vehicle?
Maybe just been talking here, bud, when I had him myself.
Okay. When was the last time you saw him here?
When he was in his place, once to bring over, I first got to the place.
A year ago? You think Justin would have,
He would have, yeah, probably.
when you weren't here?
If I wasn't here or paying attention, yeah.
We just didn't pay attention.
But he left
Yeah.
on 17th and came back. And then I went,
17th, that's a long time ago.
yeah, and then I went to talk to the guy in Kingman. He's like, yeah, they left each other there during the night and they're in Arizona.
Do you have any kind of way to contact Justin? You have a phone number?
No, he left him, him to go.
Well, what's his phone number?
He don't have
Email,
it.
Facebook?
He took my phone and my phone account's not working. He took my phone, yeah.
Suspicious.
Took why?
When's the last time you had any kind of communication with
That's
Justin?
when he said, go by Coke. So I'm gonna go by Coke. And then come back.
What I would like to do, alright, is look around your house for any kind of evidence of Matthew Miller, any kind of foul play. I'm not looking for anything other than that.
According
Wow.
to Leonie, her boyfriend, Justin,
Sorry, guys,
had
I'm
also
yawning like
mysteriously
crazy.
vanished, and she hadn't seen him since January 17th, nearly 2 weeks before Matthew was even reported missing. But investigators knew something wasn't adding up when Leonie insisted she hadn't seen Matthew in nearly
By
a
Bo
year.
relaxing on the
Surveillance
couch like
footage
that.
clearly showed Matthew's truck outside her residence just days before he
But
disappeared.
she,
with their sus-
there's a thing that I don't know if it's some kind of like conscious thing of like, hey, let's try to seem like relaxed so it doesn't seem like more of a big deal, and it might kind of psychologically it might kind of loosen up the conversation and she might actually tell him more, or he could just generally just be like, I need a stretch, or I need to just fucking sit back on this couch and chill. The kid knew he'd gone. Yeah,
Suspicion
for real.
mounting, detectives decided to search Leonie's home, hoping to uncover whether she might be hiding something or someone.
Did you notice anything strange that happened around here? Did you notice anything different around here? Like something was any kind of blood, needles? What about needles or fentanyl pills or anything like that?
The other he's using, I'm not sure though. I'm not pretty sure, but that's what the lights.
Yeah. What's the gas?
I would have checked the drive to see if Mans was in there.
We only find one person dead in a trunk per year. That's my max.
Despite their best efforts, investigators found no signs of foul play or violence. Still, Detective Turney couldn't shake the feeling that something was overlooked, so he returned to speak briefly with Leonie, unaware she'd drop a crucial clue.
The 17th, Justin Mata with
Arizona.
Yeah, with Jen Cannon
As of the 17th
of January. He left his midwife.
Leonie revealed that Justin had recently taken off with another woman named Jennifer, supposedly heading to Arizona to re-up on drugs and make some money. With this new detail, Detective Turney now found himself investigating the disappearances of 3 different people: Matthew Miller, Justin Mata, and now, potentially, Jennifer. Not yet aware just how closely connected these cases really were. So to move forward, Turney quickly looked into Jennifer and discovered she had recently been reported missing by her ex-husband, Sean Lannon. That name sounded familiar to Detective Turney, because just days earlier, officers had responded to a disturbing call at 817 Kingman Avenue, the same property where the remains of a tortured puppy had been uncovered. And the tenants evicted from that very house, Sean and Jennifer Lannon. Finally, investigators were starting to connect the dots. 3 people, all closely linked through drugs and personal relationships, had vanished within days of each other. Detective Turney realized it was time to canvass the neighborhood surrounding Sean and Jennifer's former home, hoping a neighbor might have seen something suspicious or could offer the lead they desperately needed. That's when they found a neighbor whose security camera was pointed directly at Sean and Jennifer's old residence, and what the investigators saw on the footage would finally bring some much-needed clarity to their case. Without this neighbor's camera, detectives might have hit another frustrating dead end, and it shows just how important reliable security can be, because
This is a plug. Look at me go, guys. No, I think it's because I genuinely just remembered. I was like, I know what this shit is. I know this shit. I could pick this shit up again. I'm trying. It's very, very slowly coming back to me. I watched this video on a different channel like a very, very, very long time ago. But parts of it I'm a bit foggy about, but it's all very slowly coming back to me. But do not fear, I won't spoil anything.
On January 26th,
That was
Matthew
seamless.
is
Yeah, no,
seen
look at me go,
entering
guys.
Sean's home, but investigators never see him leave. Hours later, Sean is spotted on camera driving away in Matthew's truck, and when he returns, he's alone, on foot, and Matthew is nowhere to be seen. 2 days later, on January 28th, the same camera recorded someone
I see
loading
when it
household
adds up.
items
Sometimes
into
they
a red
like
Dodge Dakota
some
parked outside the
YouTubers blend
residence
it
and
quite
driving
seamlessly in
away.
though.
This CCTV footage marked
They do quite a good
critical
job at like
turning point
leading
for
into it.
investigators. For the
I've gotten
first
better
time,
at catching it now, though.
detectives had visual proof of Matthew at Jennifer and Sean's residence. With this significant new lead, the next step was clear. Detective Turney needed to speak directly to Sean. Only his account could clarify what happened that day and potentially reveal crucial details about the missing trio. The next morning, Detective Turney reached out to Sean and agreed to sit down for a formal interview. Whatever Sean said next had the potential to shift the direction of this case completely.
So, first things first, let's get her into this missing. Okay? Have you ever seen Matthew Miller? You know who I'm talking about? Was he over at your house?
Yeah, it's been for weeks. I'm not very lucky, but it's definitely been about weeks.
Before the 3rd? Was his truck ever parked at your house?
Yeah.
For more than like a day, overnight?
I'm not sure.
Have you ever driven his truck? You've driven his truck? When was the last time you drove his truck?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago? So, again, when did you find out that they split and took off to Arizona, ran away together, whatever?
It was 7 weeks ago. Came back and we come back.
Did you have anything to do with Jennifer's disappearance, Matthew's disappearance?
I don't think
Do
they felt like
you think something bad happened to Matthew and Jennifer?
I know Jennifer drug of choice used to be when she came back with more bills than I could imagine anybody would have. She let those.
Man, I just got a really, really bad feeling about all this.
I do.
You don't seem.
I've been living in this circle for a minute.
Has she ever done this before?
Yeah.
During the interview, Detective Turney notices something strange. Sean remains unnervingly calm, especially considering his ex-wife and the mother of his 3 young children has just vanished. Turney begins to question whether Sean is simply a bystander caught up in a tragic situation or if he knows more than he's letting on. The next day, Detective Turney would get his answer, as police received an unexpected call from a man named Josh Hall. Josh was an acquaintance of Matthew Miller and claimed he'd recently witnessed something that deeply concerned him, directly related to the strange disappearances. Investigators quickly arranged for a meeting with Josh, hoping his account would finally provide the breakthrough they were looking for.
Hey man, what's going on?
That was
with
a mouth.
Matthew,
There
man?
is a mouth now.
That's my chick's cousin. Check this out, man. Check this out.
That's all me.
Check this out, man. Yesterday, right, I was at Kelly's. Right, Sean told me to go talk to you. And I guess he had to go talk to you or something. Talk to cops. He goes to Kelly's in the garage, stashes the bag in the ceiling. Gun, jacked his wife's IDs, some clothes, some other shit. Everything, just stashes it there since he had to go talk to the cops. I was there. I was there. Sean killed all 3 of them motherfuckers, man. I'm telling you, he murked all 3 of them people, man. He's putting it off on Martha that he ran off and everything. Why in the yes? I don't know, man. Kelly's like my sister. I know all the you know. I killed all 3. I know he did, man. I know he did. He did, man. I'm telling you. Come on, they find the truck right by his house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you tried to cover that up with, yeah, I sometimes drive his truck.
You know what I mean? Like,
I sometimes do that.
Martha was his chick. Martha was here.
So, get rid of the bodies.
He's a smart man.
He's kid.
Come on,
snitch.
For it. He just barely.
Vincent, this guy, if he knows something, if anybody knows something about anybody killing someone, if you don't speak up, you're a piece of shit. That's all I'm gonna say. I would support a snitch if there's a murder involved. That's all I'm gonna say.
He reported his wife missing. His wife's been missing since like the 23rd. Since last month, you know what I mean? She's been missing the same time Matt's been missing. And after he left and everything, to go talk to you, Kelly went in there and opened that and everything. Was strapped. Her IDs,
Agreed. Well, they're a piece of shit, and they should speak up. I agree.
Clothes and I don't know what she do with it. She wigged out. I had her with me the whole time. She was stripping her. Oh. And then Danny Limos took off with it. He was there too. Danny Limos took the gun.
Self-reporting right now. Go on, Rizzo. Go do it. I encourage you to self-report. Go turn yourself in. Oh, I'm joking. I've done it a few times. Snitched on a murderer.
I know. I know we lost in 3, man. I know we did.
Josh claims that Sean arrived at the residence of a woman named Kelly DeSoto, carrying a bag he carefully hid in the ceiling of her home before leaving to speak with detectives at the police station. After Sean left, Kelly discovered the hidden bag, removed a gun from inside,
turn myself in for
and
slay. You
handed
slay
it off
queen,
to
slay.
a man named Danny Lemos, locally known as Dog.
You know
who
somebody who's
quickly
murdered
took the
somebody? That's
weapon
kind of crazy.
and left on foot. When Sean returned and
I don't know a
realized
single
the bag
person
was
who's killed
missing,
someone.
he became visibly agitated, smashing his phone on the ground before storming out. These troubling claims raised immediate suspicion around everyone involved, including 2 new persons of interest, Kelly DeSoto and Daniel Lemos, both closely associated with Sean and Jennifer.
I know 3, but I know. How do you all know people who've killed someone? That's crazy. That's crazy. Former sort of that makes sense. Technically, if you're going down that route, I know somebody who has killed someone who was in the army, but that was a fling. That was years ago. Can't really say that I knew them. Other than that, actually, I technically know 2 people. Technically. But not really. Like, I feel like that's just serving your country in a way, you know? I know somebody who's in jail for that. What, for murder? Oh, I was just saying that I know people. You know people who know people who know people.
Based on Josh's statement, Danny Lemos was nowhere to be found at the time, so Detective Turney knew he urgently needed to verify Josh's account by speaking directly with Kelly, and more importantly, find out if she was hiding anything that could help connect the dots
I've got a
in
message,
this
guys.
increasingly tangled
I won't
case.
pause it. I need to reply to this message though.
When investigators first arrived at Kelly's house, she agreed to meet them at the station for an interview, but refused their offer of a ride, saying her boss would bring her in about 30 minutes. However, when the time came, Kelly never showed up at the police station. It was a major red flag, and it made investigators even more suspicious of her. 2 hours later, Detective Turney returned to her house, suspecting that Kelly might be stalling for time or trying to cover something up.
No. It's Robert, Ben, the detectives.
Hi.
Ready?
She hasn't gotten here yet. So I talked to my lawyer, and he told me that I didn't have to go with you guys.
You don't have to.
What is it about? Can you tell me?
It's about the disappearance of
who?
Matthew Miller and Jennifer Lehman. Sean Lehman.
Sean is not missing.
I know he's not.
This time, Kelly's behavior was noticeably different. She appeared distraught, reluctant to cooperate, and quick to mention her lawyer. Detective Turney felt certain that she was withholding crucial information and decided to press harder.
Was Sean here yesterday?
He came out yesterday.
How many times? What did he do?
He came inside. He told me that he had to go down and report Jennifer missing.
Did Sean hide anything in the house that was later taken?
No.
Did he destroy his phone?
Yeah, right here. I forgot. He destroyed his phone.
Did he bring a bag inside that had a gun?
No.
Or any of Jennifer's identification cards?
Oh,
Did Danny almost take the gun later?
No.
Do you think he did something to Jennifer and Matthew?
I honestly don't. He doesn't seem like that type of person.
I think you're lying to me about the bag and the gun and Jennifer's ID.
Put the fries in the bag.
I don't know anything about. Like he asked me, he said, "Where's
You didn't bring anything in.
Yeah, no, I didn't see him bring anything in.
So you're forgetting what I already spoke with.
I know.
Sean has some stuff in your shed.
Yeah, when he was moving. I don't know. I didn't question.
Nothing yesterday?
No, I don't think so.
Have you went through it?
No.
After some more pressure, Kelly admitted she had several suspicious bags in her shed, supposedly belonging to Sean. Curious about the contents of the bags, detectives quickly followed Kelly to take a closer look.
I'm pretty sure hot cheese. Yeah. I think that box there is not his, I don't think. I'm sure it's not. And that paint can is not his.
This one? What about this one?
That's his. That's his. Oh, did you let him off his house?
No, that room looks like something somebody would hide something in, you know?
She let us search that thing.
A little shed.
And outside too.
Despite their best efforts, detectives found no clear signs of blood or evidence linking back to the missing people. It was a frustrating dead end, and the chances of finding them seemed increasingly slim. At this stage, investigators had narrowed down their focus to several individuals close to the missing trio, each with conflicting stories and questionable behavior that kept detectives on edge. But without hard evidence, options were increasingly running out. Desperate for a breakthrough, Detective Turney secured a search warrant for Sean and Jennifer's former home at 817 Kingman Avenue. Unsure exactly what or who they might encounter, officers cautiously approached the property, prepared for any potential threat. Yet again, investigators were too late. The house had already undergone extensive renovations, carpets removed, drywall stripped, any potential evidence completely erased. Unbeknownst to investigators at the time, the critical evidence they desperately needed was sitting in an abandoned truck, miles away, just...
You know when, like, a house just feels eerie? I would not want to be in that house. That house felt eerie as fuck. Why is camera under his shirt? I don't think it's meant to be, right? What does it actually look like? What do you mean? It's probably just accidental layering or something. He probably didn't mean to.
Desperately needed was sitting in an abandoned truck, miles away, just waiting to be discovered. For now, though, every possible lead was exhausted, and Detective Turney knew it was time for a more direct approach. So he called Sean once more, determined to extract something, anything, that could finally lead investigators to the missing trio.
Where do you think they are, guys?
Hello? Hey, is this Sean?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Sean, this is Detective Turney. How are you doing?
Probably buried, right?
Good, man. I've been trying to get a hold of your other number, and it's not working.
There was dirt on the truck, a shovel in the back.
You know anything new?
No.
At the soup store. Yeah, probably.
Okay. Are you still around town?
Man, this Sean guy kind of looks like he would be into like cannibalism or something. Not gonna lie.
No, we've made some progress here and
He
there.
looks
I've got
unhinged.
a bunch of pictures of different vehicles. I'd like you to take a look at, see if you could help me identify them.
I wanted to come in and like stuff I got to return to the school.
Okay. All right, just make sure the kids are taken care of, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks.
Sean sounded cooperative and willing to help, promising Detective Turney he
interesting.
would come in for questioning. Yet, Sean never showed up. The next day, Turney even offered to personally pick Sean up and bring him to the station.
Camera
but
angle?
once again, Sean failed to appear. At this point, Turney felt certain Sean was deliberately stalling and knew
No, look at man's eyes. I'm sorry, but Look at his eyes. If that man came up to, I would be
They
scared.
couldn't
I would be
afford
scared
to
of the
waste any
cop.
more time. He's done playing cat and mouse.
He's on the hunt now. He's on the prowl.
With the CCTV footage and witness
Rawr.
statements pointing directly at Sean and Danny as crucial figures, Detective Turney knew he needed to bring them in for
We've seen some
questioning.
shit
So
for real.
investigators dug deeper into both
He's probably
men's
about to see
backgrounds,
more once he
and
gets
that's
these
when
bodies
they hit the
uncovered.
jackpot. Sean had an outstanding warrant for missing a court appearance related
Let's
to a
go.
2020 assault and battery charge. It was the break they needed.
Let's
On
fucking
February
go.
25th, officers located Sean in Albuquerque and arrested him without incident, transporting him directly to the Grants Police Department for questioning. Detective Turney's goals for the interview were simple: determine exactly what Sean knew about the missing trio and find out where Danny Lemos had vanished after taking the alleged gun.
Let's go back to Matthew's truck. Okay, so it starts to back in there, and you're the last one who drove it, right? So let's go backward from when you parked it. Where did you go with it that day? Do you remember specifically?
The only places I ever traveled was one time to McDonald's. I thought that was the last day where you ever used it. And I got Smith's, we got water, food,
Good luck.
Walmart, that's it. Is there a tracker on the truck? My phone was always on, like, pull the line on it. I'm not going in the mountains. I have children. I don't have any bodies. Like, I was a medic in the Army. Like, I have 3 kids.
I don't think you're capable of doing something like this. I think you're very capable of defending yourself, though.
I just think he has a good cover. But I'm a father. I have children. I swear.
An accident happens.
If it was nice, I would be like, that's self-defense, because self-defense is peaceful, but literally, no. Biggest fear in my house, why the pistol stayed in the house, was pet up, like dog, like, that guy scares me. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah.
So.
Who told you to park it there? Justin?
Justin was there at the house, talking with, like, they're all chewing on the soup.
Who's all there?
Jennifer, Justin, and
Matthew.
And he gets a boatload of pills from him. And they're like, we're going to go score. I mean, they had nobody, nothing.
So you take the truck and the kids.
No, they leave the truck. And literally, I'm like, well, I need to go. Like, can I get some fucking groceries or some shit?
Okay.
And literally, I'm like, what do we do with the truck? He's like, leave it. I'm like, yeah, leave the shit here. Like, no. I was like, you're not going to park in front. No, I need to go to the dumpsters. I need to go to McDonald's for water.
And so they told you in the house, when you're done with it, to park it at the Lubbock Apartments.
Matthew wanted to park it down the street. He says, no, my buddy's over there near.
He's quite literally planting it on this Matthew guy. Like that guy said, the snitch, as Vincent said that he was. Like he's quite literally just planting it on the guy. Like he said that he had been planting it on.
Just leave it there.
As the interview continued, Sean seemed to have an answer for everything, including the CCTV footage, claiming he only moved the truck at Matthew and Justin's request. He also appeared to casually downplay the entire incident, insisting the trio's disappearances were simply part of a drug-related business venture, nothing criminal. But Detective Turney wasn't buying it. He knew Sean's explanation didn't match witness statements, and his earlier actions were too suspicious to ignore. But without solid proof, Turney couldn't directly refute Sean's story. So, to move forward, Detective Turney changed tactics. He decided to deliberately introduce Danny Lemos into the conversation, offering Sean an easy scapegoat. If Sean took the bait, Turney might finally uncover what Sean was hiding, or at least gain insight into what really happened to the missing trio.
Did Danny kill him?
I have no idea. I literally spent most of my time with the kids. If I had to guess who would kill him, it would be the guy saying, if I gotta dispose of bodies, I'm gonna put him in my pig. And he showed me the pig one day because I was helping him at his house.
This is... Oh, Sean.
I don't have any answers for Matthew. I don't know much about him. Talk to Dog. If someone's gonna move a body and put it somewhere, my guess, the creepy dude that talks about pigs with everything but the eyeballs. I'm like, who would know that? Like, this dude's...
Is that not a common fact? Is that not what some people just know? Is that something I'm not meant to know? that pigs are like pretty much like they can eat like kneecaps and shit, and that's like a like really hard bone and shit. Are you not meant to know that? I didn't know that. Maybe I'm just too deep into this true crime stuff. Oh yeah, I had a question about lock picking, okay? I was like, I don't know a single thing about it. I was like, Dad, like, if you like lockpicked a door, would you still be able to tell if somebody had lockpicked it if you like tried to like get out of there and like cover it up? And then somehow that conversation then turned into like a conversation on like how like to like get rid of a body. My dad was like, I was like, Dad, what the fuck? Like, he was telling me some of this shit, and I was like, I didn't know that you do this stuff. Dad was like, if you ever need to hide a body safe, I'm here for you. I was like, what? What do you mean? I would not like to be in the middle of a forest with Sophia. They would never find me. Watch out, guys. I'm coming for you. I'm a dragon. I'll just burn you to death. It's okay. I'll try to do it quickly for you. I'm joking. Twitch, don't ban me. I worked on a pig ranch. A cow was processed. They fed the bones to the pigs. I mean, like, if it gets rid of it, it gets rid of it, you know? How else are you going to dispose of it? Or else you just had to bury shit all the time. Like, you know, just happens.
Whenever I'm scared of dog, so, but my kids are scared of dog. I'm scared of dog. I don't know what the fuck I'm afraid of it. I'm ashamed of it. But we hid in the house. We didn't go anywhere. I definitely didn't leave my kids for 5 hours. Trying to find the look of the other one.
Just as planned, the moment Danny Lemos' name came up, Sean seized the opportunity and implicated him, pointing to Danny's violent nature and even suggesting his ability to dispose of bodies using pigs. Beyond those accusations, however, Sean stuck to his story for the rest of the interview, denying any involvement in the disappearance. Without solid proof against him, detectives had no choice but to end their questioning. Still, Sean wasn't completely free. His outstanding warrant for failure to appear in court meant he'd spend the next 7 days in custody, and officers immediately transported him to the...
I do wonder, because obviously, like, the only reason why they're able to hold him and they're not able, like, he's not going to get back out on the streets is because of this warrant and for not attending court and shit. So, like, I do wonder, if he was released, would he have run and, like, just left his fucking 3 kids behind who now have no fucking mother because he's a fucking piece of shit? Or, like, what would he have done? Would he took the kids with him? Or would he just stayed there and just waited? I'm just extremely curious.
Investigators spent the following week interviewing acquaintances, re-examining evidence, and piecing together scattered leads. During their interview, one detail caught Detective Turney's attention.
Run for the border like a Western
red
movie.
Ford truck that was spotted parked outside Sean's residence.
Run to
later,
Mexico.
leaving with unknown contents loaded in the back. Investigators
Like that woman
had
should
not
have
yet
done.
located this truck, and Turney strongly suspected it might hold something crucial to their case. For now, though, 3 people remained missing, and police narrowed their focus to 2 prime suspects. Sean Lannon, who was recorded on surveillance driving Matthew's truck and potentially connected to the missing red truck, and Danny Lemos, who allegedly received a handgun connected to Sean before disappearing
I just had
himself.
a drink of fizzy and
With
my
each
eyes are
passing
watering.
day, Turney
I
grew
almost
more
choked.
convinced that the missing trio had been murdered, and that the 2 prime suspects likely held the answers. But the window to find something conclusive was quickly closing, because on March 3rd, Sean completed his short jail sentence and was released back onto the streets, significantly raising the stakes. Now facing the possibility of losing another prime suspect, Detective Turney knew he had to act fast. All he needed was just one single lead. Some hint
now I'm gonna choke
of where
on
the
it.
bodies might be
Water.
hidden.
Yeah, I'll drink water. Thanks, Vincent. Blah, blah, blah.
On March 5th, officers received a call from the security at Albuquerque's Sunport Airport about an abandoned red Ford Ranger, eerily similar to the one from surveillance footage gathered during the investigation. What officers found inside would confirm the gruesome truth they'd been searching for.
Oh yes, three buckets, 3 boxes. 1 for each person. Probably not, though.
Kind of smells.
Oh, maybe it would.
Kind of smells, but I mean, not to like decompose or anything. You know what I mean?
Ugh.
Yeah.
We called it in by 1:30, but they said they didn't want to send anybody out here.
There's a pretty foul smell coming from the vehicle.
Yeah.
Every so often. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I can't really tell what it was. It didn't really sound like. I couldn't really think it smelled like decomp body or something like that, but I don't know. Yeah, I can smell something, but I can't really tell what it was. It also smelled like dirty, like heel almost, but yeah, I don't know. But we'll check the video and all that good stuff, so.
In the back of the truck were several sealed storage bins, emitting an unmistakable smell of decay. And inside were the dismembered bodies of Jennifer Lannon, Matthew Miller, and Justin Mata. Jennifer had been shot at close range in the head. Justin had also suffered a gunshot wound to the head, along with severe blunt force injuries. And Matthew's body showed clear signs of massive head trauma, evidence he'd also been beaten to death. But the horrors didn't end there. Hidden beneath a tarp in the passenger seat was yet another body. Randall Apostolon, the truck's owner. His body showed signs of severe blunt force trauma, and a bloodied hammer found nearby was clearly the weapon used to kill him. Investigators found more disturbing evidence inside the truck. Multiple serrated knives stained with dried blood, a handsaw, and several pairs of industrial gloves, all clearly pointing to a calculated, cold-blooded murder. It was still unclear to investigators why Randall had been murdered or how his death was connected to the other three, but they wouldn't have
Did
to
not
wait
remember
long
this,
to
that's for
find
sure.
out. Detectives urgently turned to the Albuquerque airport's surveillance cameras, knowing the truck hadn't driven itself there. And it didn't take long before they spotted exactly who they were looking for. On March 3rd, 2021, just 2 days before the gruesome discovery, the airport's cameras captured Sean Lannon driving the truck into the airport parking lot, exiting the vehicle, and leaving behind the bodies of his 4 victims. Finally, detectives found their killer. It was time to track Sean down and bring him in. On the same day the bodies were discovered, police urgently scrambled to track down Sean Lannon, but it was already too late. Sean had slipped out of Albuquerque and vanished. Immediately, the U.S. Marshals
Did he
issued
leave
a
his children
nationwide alert,
behind, or did
believing
he not?
Sean posed an active threat and was possibly on a violent crime spree. Authorities across multiple states joined the manhunt to track him down before anyone else was harmed. Then, on March 9th, Detective Turney received a disturbing call. U.S. Marshals informed him that Sean Lannon was now wanted in connection to another murder, this one committed just a day earlier in New Jersey. Authorities had linked Sean to the murder of Michael Debkowski through witness statements and surveillance footage that placed him directly at the scene. A quick background check also revealed the victim wasn't a random target. Debkowski was someone Sean had personally known for many years. It was an alarming detail that made it clear Sean's violent spree was far from over. Now, with 5 bodies discovered and a serial killer on the loose, police knew anyone in Sean Lannon's circle could be next, and they had to act fast. Federal authorities urgently tracked Sean's movements, closely monitoring surveillance footage and cell phone
Eyes a
data.
loser.
And finally,
I agree.
on the morning of March 10th, U.S. Marshals pinpointed Sean's location in St. Louis, Missouri, and they quickly moved in and captured him without incident. Sean Lannon was immediately extradited back to New Jersey, finally putting an end to his killing spree. By now, the evidence against Sean Lannon was overwhelming. Investigators had more than enough to charge him, but there were still critical questions that only Sean could answer. They still needed to understand exactly why he committed these horrific murders and determine whether he acted alone or if others helped him carry out and conceal evidence. When Detective Turney sat down face to face with Sean, he expected more lies and deception, but surprisingly, Sean didn't resist or deny anything. Instead, he resigned to his fate, openly admitting he was tired of running and knew his capture was inevitable. In his own words, he simply wanted it to be over. So, with nothing left to hide, Sean would give detectives exactly what they hoped for: a chilling, detailed account of the murders and the twisted reasons behind each one.
Jen was already out with her. Wasn't enough to take her life. So she wanted me to make sure she went too, for sure. Because I realized she was breathing. She wasn't gonna OD. I went in the other room, psyched myself up, repeating that kind of emotionally charged statement of, "You killed the Garrison baby." So I had whatever to do it. I put the pistol on her head, and I pulled the trigger. Threw it on. A couple seconds later, I was positioned on the bed too. I put that pistol in my mouth. Put the handle up. Just slipped past my teeth. My son cried out. I was like, what the f*** do I do now? Pull the trigger, kid's gonna see both of our hands went off. I rolled off took the rounds out of the gun, put it in the dresser. Closed the bedroom door, got the kids normal, set them up to be in the other room. We didn't have a vehicle. John's boyfriend drove the truck on the car in. So I pretty much lived here into a storage bin, a long one. The sheets that were around here, the bedding was in the bag, in the box too. A day later, I tried to dismember her to put her in containers. It didn't work. It was awful and traumatic. Just thinking about it. It still haunts me. I knew I was living on borrowed time at that point, so I needed to get my kids somewhere safe to cope. So I continued with packing everything up, all the while still mating just a mother. He's responsible for the drugging and doing that to my kids. It took like a week. I came to the house. So I was in the laundry room, connected to the garage. That's where I killed him. Just before I killed him, he offered up a trade. His phone had pictures of Shawn Michael standing there naked in my living room. I don't know what his name was, William or Matthew Miller, whatever that his name is. With his on my son's shoulders. I was like, "Who sent you this picture?" He's like, "I don't know it's real." He's like, "I took the picture." I was like, "Well, you took that picture." And he just admitted the guy in the picture.
Do we believe this?
I said, "There it is." You know, he was right over the vent where Jim was hiding her. He wanted to know if he could do a shot before it took his life. So I said, "Well, if you find any in the vent," so he was looking down in the vent. He didn't see it coming. So I shot him in the back of the head. It wasn't something I was proud of. He's a pretty tall dude. I had the dismembering almost at a point, a day or two later. It disgusted me. That was gross. I had to work up the nerves to move his bodies. So there's so much blood. That's why I had to pull the floor up in that room. I still had a room that was, the flooring that was pulled up in the kid's bedroom. A piece of landlord never fixed the water leak. And the carpet got molded. It was unsafe. The carpet was outside the house, so it was the padding, if they fell through some other reason. It was still there when it left. It took 2 hours before I had enough the ability to even go near Justin.
When you got Justin over there, was this shortly after? Like how long between the time that you shoot Jennifer, that you shoot Justin?
It was at least a week. It took a while.
Did you get him to come over?
I was baiting this if I was Jennifer on the phone.
Yeah. So you thought you was to meet Jennifer?
Yeah. I also had pictures of Daniel Lemos and my son. I never got my hands on Daniel Lemos. I fully intended. So I was heading back to New Mexico for work. Like yesterday.
Yeah, we're 10 years.
If I did, it'd be in the box. So then I had the 3 of them. Probably that kid comes over, William or Matthew or was. Comes there with Felicity, his girlfriend. She looked like 12 years old. And I should trick name on the hook too. So he's like, they're looking for money for anything. I'm like, I give you a food card. I like just take like $40.
Yeah, he wasn't even gonna stop at those 3.
It's like, all I need is later in the week, give me a ride to get some water.
He killed the driver.
That's what I want.
Like, that guy might have just been caught up in it. I don't know.
He didn't have Felicity, and that's when I shot him in the back of the head. And I had one of his vehicles in Albuquerque.
Very well.
At some point, he brought me the box that put him in the back. I couldn't open it up. I couldn't fill it with enough money to get the vehicle, so he was gonna take the truck back. So I found somewhere else for the boxes of A's storage containers. I was gonna hold him for $150. He wanted another $300 once we got to his place. Randy wanted another $300 to hold the boxes. So I didn't have $300.
So I just killed him.
Like, I'm gonna drop you back off. So we left, came back to the Pearl. The box was still in the back. Pulled in right there. We got in a fight. I killed him in the front seat. He was in the driver's seat.
Throughout his confession, Sean remained eerily composed, showing almost no emotions. Even more chilling is the fact that just hours after dismembering the bodies and brutally killing Randall, Sean was picked up by police on an unrelated warrant and sat across from Detective Turney, coldly denying any involvement, while a truck full of bodies was parked just a few blocks away.
So Tuesday, I took I grabbed the truck.
If there's, like, I don't want to defend anybody who does anything to kids, but at the same time, like, this guy is a killer. Like, did he actually see these things? Is this like, did this actually happen? Were they doing something to his kids, or is he just completely unhinged and he's trying to find a reason as to why, in a way, he wouldn't be guilty because they were like fucking pedophiles and shit, you know?
I know what to do with it. I don't know anybody. What do you do with the body? So I wasn't trying to. I knew at some point he was going to get caught.
I don't
Kids back
know.
home. I took them to the airport the day before. And I positioned them. Just everything was the same. Secured the vehicle. That's not obvious. And then I took I believe it was an Uber. Took it home. Right to the Pearl. The next day we flew out. I'm waiting on time. Again. At some point they would find the bodies at the airport in the box. And the last thing on my list was the man that was me as a child, my big brother. Big brothers, big sisters, whatever. They got pictures too. Wanted the pictures
I don't
back.
believe
They
him.
wanna give me the pictures.
Yeah, I'm a bit
So I started beating
suspicious too.
Then he gave me the pictures. I took his life. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that.
I'm sorry, but if there's this many people doing stuff to your kids, like, you're just a shitty father. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, you're letting these people be around your kids technically. So it technically, even if it did happen, I would blame it on him still. Like, that is his also responsibility to keep his children safe, and he's doing a fucking shit job at it if any of this is true. Like, for real.
I did fly in time to make it back to finish Daniel Amos.
The last victim in Sean's killing spree was his former mentor, Michael Debkowski, a man Sean accused of abusing him during childhood and believed still had photographs of that abuse. When Debkowski refused to hand over those photographs, Sean killed him without hesitation. But just as detectives thought they heard everything from Sean, he would make one final shocking statement. There were even more bodies waiting to be found.
And so the other...
Wait, what's the body count at currently? Like 5? The 3, the driver, and then that other guy that abused him as a kid. That's 5.
11, you said started about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. And you used...
This is not a kid thing, right? This cannot be like, hey, they abused my kids. If there's more bodies than this, how is he going to explain all of them? No, I'm sorry, Vincent, I'm sorry.
You disarmed them from guns, and you said knives?
Knives, whatever. Some point. had like almost like a pickaxe, but it was more of a pick. It swung like a pickaxe. But
Was like if you had to think back, like how many out of the 11 were shot and how many were stabbed? Like if you can elaborate on any of that.
2 were shot.
They're not. What the fuck? For real?
And then how many were stabbed?
Where's the rest of them? That one.
The rest of them. So 9.
According to Sean, he'd killed at least 11 additional people, mostly drug dealers tied to Jennifer, and hidden their bodies in remote areas of Malpais National Park. Detectives approached these claims cautiously, knowing Sean was a skilled manipulator who mixed truths with calculated lies. Perhaps this was his last attempt to influence the outcome of his trial later on. But despite extensive searches, no additional bodies were ever discovered, and Sean's claims remained unverified. Detectives also investigated one of the key persons of interest directly implicated by Sean himself, Danny Lemos. He was located in Albuquerque and arrested by U.S. Marshals on March 25, 2021. Danny agreed to speak with Detective Turney, firmly denying any involvement and expressing shock that Sean was even capable of these horrific crimes. He admitted taking the handgun Sean had hidden at Kelly's house, but claimed he had no idea it was tied to a murder and had quickly sold it afterwards. After exhaustive interviews and reviewing all available evidence, detectives eventually cleared Danny, along with all other potential suspects, ultimately concluding Sean acted entirely alone. In October 2022, Sean pleaded guilty to the first-degree murder of Michael Debkowski in New Jersey. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison, and in May 2024, he pleaded guilty to killing Jennifer Lannon, Justin Mata, Matthew Miller, and Randall Apostolone, receiving 4 consecutive 15-year sentences. As part of his plea agreement, Sean will serve his sentence in New Jersey first, then return to New Mexico to serve an additional 60 years behind bars.